Think about how many faces you saw today. The person sitting across from you on the subway, the cashier who handed you your change, the stranger at the crosswalk who looked up for a second and then looked away. You don't know their names. You don't know where they live. You'll probably never see them again. You think you forgot them. You didn't. Right now, without your knowledge, without your permission, every face you encountered today has been collected and stored somewhere inside you. Not because you chose to, not because they mattered to you, because something in you is incapable of seeing a human face and simply letting it go. And tonight, when you close your eyes, some of those strangers might show up. Here's the part that should actually unsettle you. The strangers who appear in your dreams weren't invented by your sleeping mind. They were collected by your waking one. Your mind doesn't create new faces from nothing. It reaches into an archive it's been building all day, every day without telling you, and it pulls them out. The face you see in tonight's dream might belong to someone who walked past you on a Tuesday in 2019. Someone whose name you never knew. Someone who had absolutely no idea they were being filed away inside a stranger. Let's start with what's actually happening every time you pass someone on the street. You assume you're choosing what to remember. Important things stay. Unimportant things pass through. You can't recall what you had for lunch 2 Wednesdays ago, but you remember exactly where you were when you heard certain news. Your memory, you think, is an editor. It picks and chooses. Faces work differently. The moment a human face enters your line of sight, something happens that you have no control over. It locks on. It processes. It stores. Researchers have confirmed this. People can distinguish between a face they've seen before and one they haven't, even when they have zero conscious memory of ever having seen it. The recognition happened. The awareness didn't. Those are two separate things. Think about what that means for an average day. You commute. You walk through a grocery store. You scroll past photos. You pass people on the sidewalk. Researchers estimate the average person encounters somewhere between dozens and hundreds of faces on a normal day. Of those, you consciously try to remember almost none of them. But consciously is not the only way memory works. Every one of those faces was registered. Every one of them left a trace. Now you sleep. Dream researchers have spent decades studying this, and what they've found is quietly disturbing. Every face that appears in a dream is a face the dreaming mind has encountered in waking life. It doesn't manufacture new people from scratch. It draws from the archive. All those faces you think you forgot, all the background people you walked past without looking at, all the strangers in photos you scrolled past for half a second, the man at the gas station on a Wednesday 3 years ago, the woman whose face appeared in a news photo you didn't stop to read, the face in the background of a video you watched without paying attention. Filed, stored, available. Your mind has been collecting without your consent. And at night, it opens the drawers. Here's where it gets stranger. The faces don't appear randomly. What dream researchers call the continuity hypothesis says that dreams don't replay your day. They process it. Specifically, they process the emotional residue your waking hours left behind. The things you felt but didn't fully work through. The things that snagged and wouldn't let go. When those unresolved feelings need a face, your mind reaches into the archive and picks one. Not because the person means anything to you, because their face happened to be stored at a moment when something else was already activating inside you. You go to sleep stressed, and the stranger from the coffee shop this morning becomes the one chasing you. You go to sleep lonely, and someone you passed on the street becomes an old friend in your dream. The face is borrowed. The feeling is yours, which means the strangers in your dreams aren't really strangers at all. They're your own unfinished business, wearing someone else's face. Now here's the question that's harder to sit with. You've been doing this your entire life. Since the day you first opened your eyes and saw another human face, something in you has been scanning, registering, and storing. Every crowded room, every busy street, every screen you've looked at, thousands of faces, taken in without your knowledge, kept without your permission. You are not living alone in your own mind. You never were. This isn't a malfunction. For most of human history, every face was critical information. You lived in a group of roughly 150 people, and within that group, recognizing faces instantly, friend or threat, familiar or unknown, safe or dangerous, was a matter of survival. Missing that red, even once, could be fatal. So the part of you that processes faces became obsessively thorough, not just for the people you knew, for every face you encountered, however briefly. Because in a world where any stranger could be an ally or a predator, registering every face was how you stayed alive. The world got bigger. You now pass hundreds of strangers for every person you actually know, but that ancient, obsessive system didn't change. It kept doing what it was built to do: scanning, logging, keeping. Tonight, when you lock your door and turn off the lights, you'll be alone in your apartment. But you won't be alone in your mind. In there, somewhere, are the hundreds of faces you collected today without meaning to. The ones you couldn't name if you tried. The ones who have no idea they're in there. They've been moving in without your permission your entire life. They're not a threat. They're not something to be afraid of. They're evidence. Evidence that something in you has been quietly doing the oldest job in human experience. Watching every face that passes. Keeping what might matter. Building an archive so thorough it reaches into your sleep. You think you live alone. You've never lived alone.